Want the highest quality, lightest, best-looking mini sprint parts in the industry? Need tech support, expert advice, and guided instructions? Look no further than www.hyperracing.com.
MPS Racing Engines, located in Ransomville, New York, has been the innovator in mini sprint, TQ, and superbike racing engines for 20 years. With dozens of track championships and hundreds of victories across the United States and Australia, NPS Racing Engines has become synonymous with performance and reliability. So give Will a call at 888-570-4677 or visit NPS on the web at www.mpsracing.com. NPS, everything else is prey.
Good evening and welcome to On the Scene. Linda Speedway is the setting for the 17th Annual Nationals, paying a prime $3,000 to win. Drivers from all over, and we mean all over, Florida, Michigan, and the New England states and more are in for this event. Rain has become a very defined problem at this event over the past couple of years, and unfortunately this year would be no different. Time trials were held Friday night, and when they ran, Flagtown, New Jersey's Jay Hartman set quick time. Steve Wary, the Linda Speedway wingless champion, was second quick, and Simon Egan, another wingless driver, was third quick in one of his first wing starts ever. The Saturday portion of the Nationals turned into a little bit of a washout after the 270 sprint heat races were completed. The first of 7 heat races were on the Speedway when the rain came and the rest of the night's racing action was moved to Sunday for the 600 sprints. It was built as a daytime race to allow drivers that traveled to stay in the Jonestown area and compete. Heat races started the day and Jay Hartman was able to lock down the pole by winning his heat race. Other heat race winners include Steve Wary, Simon Egan, Jason Swavely, Eddie Strada, Corey Roth, and Luke Thomas. The Nationals start 30+, and they were locked in after the alphabet mains were run. There was a saying in racing that it's never over until the checkered flag waves. This would be the motto for this year's Nationals, the whole way through. Steve Wary looked strong all year long and was working Hartman in lap traffic after joining him on row number 1 and bringing the field to the green flag. A broken part took Wary out of contention as the race neared its halfway mark. Lap traffic was tough, and especially on a rubber-down surface that had a very slick outside line because of the dust particles. If you stepped out of the groove just the slightest bit, it meant disaster. Mike Dicely and Jesse Maurer began to work their way into the fray as the race neared its halfway mark. Dicely from 8th was now running second to Hartman, who was showing the way. Simon Egan was holding on to 3rd, Jason Swavely was 4th, and Maurer had worked into the top 5. With 22 laps down, a red flag would come out for Jason Swavely and get Jay Hartman out of very heavy lap traffic. Dicely made a few runs at Hartman after the restart, but Hartman looked strong. On lap 36, Dicely knew time was running out, and in traffic, knowing Hartman would be a little more careful, Dicely went on to the attack. Dicely got a little too high and slid out of the racing groove, and that quick Hartman was gone. Jay Hartman had locked down what looked to be the win in the National Open. While the leaders were still in heavy lap traffic, Sean Stoltz spun. And when the dust settled, Jay Hartman was also sideways in the corner. The dream weekend for Hartman had turned into a nightmare. Inheriting the race lead was 7, soon-to-be 8-time national winner Dicely. 2 surprise frontrunners were Maurer and Egan as they continued to run 2nd and 3rd in some of their first starts at the track. Dicely made some last-second adjustments before the last restart, had a great restart, and got away to claim win number 8 in the Nationals. He did it from the 8th starting spot and said it was the hardest one to date. He claimed that Hartman had him covered, and it sure looked like it on this weekend, but Dicely was more than happy to take the win. Maurer came from 7th to finish 2nd, and Simon Egan capped off a great weekend with a podium finish. Heath Hanley came from 12th to finish 4th, and Luke Thomas, a former winner of the event, now piloting Rich Glosser's car, finished in 5th. Veteran drivers Jim Young and Terry Schaefer were 6th and 7th, Schaefer from the 18th starting spot. Tyler Walton came home in 8th, recovering from an early race spin. Brett Mahalski earned the Hard Charger Award, coming from 26th to finish 9th, and Bill Thomas, a former fast timer himself at the National, made up the top 10. What a great... So even with the rain, it was still a great race weekend, a weekend filled with so many different emotions for so many different drivers. Rain or not, it can't ruin the atmosphere at the Nationals, and we were glad to be on the scene with multiple videographers, multiple note takers, and whatever it took to keep you up to date as we always do here on 600 Scene.